So it was a bit of a New York indie fest at All Points East yesterday in London, with the Strokes and Yeah Yeah Yeahs playing, and I was somewhat disappointed not to be there. However, seeing reviews this morning, it seemed like some people were disappointed to be there. I went to the festival a few years ago when the Strokes played, and there were similar, if not slightly less angry complaints about the sound, but this year it seems to have reached new levels. Here are some of the reviews. Chants of Turn It Up rang out, and there's a video of that we can see here. However, there were some people that said the crowd itself wasn't great. I was able to speak to Danny Hilton, who went to the festival, and here's what he had to say. So what's the crack then? What did you make of it?
It was pretty disappointing. I think the sound was really, like, for the first 4 or 5 songs, the sound was really, really quiet. As in, you could literally just hear bass and drums, and you could barely hear the two guitars, and Julian's vocal was really, really low. But then by the fifth song, it got better. So they played like "Call It Fate, Call It Karma," like the fifth song, and that's people were actually like complaining around me saying it's so shit, or like why are they doing "Call It Fate, Call It Karma"? So why is it such a weird song? But actually, weirdly enough, the sound got better for that tune. But because they started with "Whatever Happened," "Alone Together," and "Last Night," like three absolutely like stomping tunes, like amazing start to a gig, and you couldn't really hear it, and you could just hear everyone else screaming around you. And I mean, that's normally the case with those kind of gigs, but you still want to be able to hear, you want to hear the guitar, you want to hear something back. So it's just a bit underwhelming.
Okay, all right. So what you're saying, they did get better though, because people, I don't know if like there's an article in the Independent saying that people are leaving early and stuff. Do you think that's a bit of an exaggeration?
I mean, I was quite far at the front, so people like certainly weren't leaving like right at the front. It did get better. Like towards the end, it was certainly a lot better. Like you could actually hear the guitar parts. I mean, I was by like the right speaker, so I could hear like Nick's guitar solos and that, but I couldn't actually hear Albert's guitar parts that well, which is a bit of a
Okay.
shame. But yeah, it did get better, and by the end, you could hear like they played "Ode to the Mets," and you could hear that quite well. They played uh, "Ask Me Anything," which is weird from First Impressions, and that was you could hear that quite well. So it did improve. It did dramatically improve, but it was just pretty disappointing that from the outset the sound was so bad. And people, it was like 80 quid for that day festival.
Hmm.
People there from like like Canada, like literally all over the world, and they can't fucking sort the sound out. Like what the sound it's like what are the sound technicians doing? You know what I mean? It is a bit shit. But yeah. The set list was good, to be fair. So
But what do you make of it? Were you there? Did you feel taken for a fool by the sound? Or were you oblivious to it like I was back in 2019? Have your say in the comments.